The game's afoot, only this game involves the secret history of the 20th century, the multiverse, or a theoretical snowflake existing in 196,833 dimensional space, and a dangerous group of metahumans who are horribly altered by their trip through the bleed. Around these parts, we like our adventures pulpy and our sci-fi hard. Thankfully, Planetary delivers on both counts and smuggles in superhero tropes and pop culture figures for an unreal, unforgettable narrative. Since I started working at our store, I've been bombarded with Planetary pitches from all of my coworkers. Planetary is amazing! Why aren't you reading Planetary yet? Mike even went home and poured himself a glass of wine before reading the final issue when it came out because everyone had waited like 4 years between issues. You can't work here if you haven't read Planetary. Don't you like us in our Planetary, Ms. Moffat? Planetary, Planetary. Alright, I get it. And now I actually get it. Remember when Time magazine listed Alan Moore's Watchmen as one of the 100 best books of all time and everyone was all ruffled that a so-called graphic novel was being lauded as literature? Well, everyone was right. Go and read Planetary. Well, okay, still read Watchmen, but then you'll better comprehend why Planetary is truly a metatextual comic for readers. As Planetary opens, a mysterious and insanely awesome woman named Chiquita Wagner tracks down an equally mysterious man named Elijah Snow in a desert diner. Snow is a cantankerous 100-year-old man with an unusual talent for controlling frigid temperatures, and he's been recruited to unearth the secret history of the 20th century. What Elijah knows, Chiquita's tough as nails, ruled by her insatiable curiosity, and can pretty much punch through whatever she wants. The drummer and the third member of their group can communicate with computers and read invisible tracts of information from his surroundings. And Planetary's missions are funded by the fourth man. No one knows the fourth man's identity. What starts off as an episodic adventure comic featuring big monsters and amazing discoveries slowly morphs into the exploration and celebration of heroes in literature, spanning from pulp fiction of the early 20th century to the superheroes of modern times. I hesitate to go into detail here because I might spoil everything for you. Planetary's entire run is comprised of 27 issues, and yet the narrative is so precise and the characters' lives are so intricately wound up with one another that even spoiling the smallest detail could ruin your entire experience of the series. I will say Warren Ellis plays with his storytelling in very fun ways. I'm referring specifically to an issue where Axel Brass, an adventurer and fellow Century baby, recounts his younger days among the Society. His crew battles fantastic supernatural creatures and his stories are all framed in that classic pulp fiction format, complete with yellowed pages and old-time phrasing. Another tip of the hat goes to the Jules Verne-esque adventure tale that takes place later in the series, and plays with some integral characters from 20th century literature. I may have revealed too much here. I also admire the fact that the series doesn't just revolve around toppling a group of evil metahumans who are transformed by the bleed. And that is not a sentence you hear very often. The Four are a group of 4 astronauts who disappear during a space expedition and return with unexpected powers and abilities. Ellis is playing with Marvel's iconic Fantastic Four here, except this group acts as a covert organization bent on hoarding the world's knowledge for itself. And yet Planetary doesn't revolve around good triumphing over evil, though there are some awfully kick-ass moments in there too. I don't believe one video review can do Planetary justice, so I must apologize to Mr. Ellis and Mr. Cassidy for that one. But you, dear viewer, can certainly thank me for passing on the good word about this unforgettable series. And here's a confetti of 5 stars to prove it. Signing off.